need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
Let me get to my first question, which comes from Megan. Megan is writing from Marietta, Georgia, and she says, "Hi, Betsy. I'm in the process of decorating my family room, and I need your expertise. My style is cozy English country. I love a warm, inviting, collected look. Right now, my family room is pretty neutral, so I'm working on layering more patterns and colors into the room. My room is pretty long, so I've created a few different zones to work with. On one end of the room, I've created a little play area for my young children. And on the opposite end of the room, I have a fireplace with a door to our backyard. I've placed our sectional in the middle of the room so it faces both the fireplace and our TV. My question has to do with the long wall we have our TV up against. Do you think I need to add artwork on this wall? Should I just leave it bare? What should I do to achieve the beautiful look I'm hoping to achieve? I've included pictures of both the TV wall and the other wall behind the couch so you can get an idea of the entire room. There's usually a wingback chair where we currently have our Christmas tree. Thank you so much for any suggestions you can give me." All right, well, let's dig in, Megan. So first of all, pictures are always such a help for me to understand and guide you specifically as I'm providing advice. So thank you for sending those. And guys, if you want to see Megan's pictures, all you have to do is head over to YouTube. Affordable Interior Design has a channel. And my son keeps me updated as to our number of subscribers, our number of regular viewers, because he likes to compete with me. He has his own channel and he's crushing me right now. Crushing me. He just topped 1,000 subscribers and he reminds me regularly that we've barely topped 500. Guys, come on. I know you want to see Megan's pictures. Head over there and make me look a little bit cooler in the eyes of my son. All right, Megan, let's make this about you. So I love the pictures. And yes, it's giving me a very good sense of this long, lovely living space. I particularly like the chair rail and the beams. All of this beautiful architectural detailing really sets the stage. But I completely agree that right now you have a lot of heaviness on one side of the room with the sectional. And then on the other side of the room, you just have this TV and a console and eventually a wingback. You know, the problem with the room in general, for me personally, is that everything is sort of at a lower level. Almost everything in this room is at that 3-foot height, whether it's the sofa table, the sofa, the TV console, right? It's just all at a pretty standard level. Even the toy storage is at that sort of level. And then when you bring in the wingback, it is going to be back there too. We need undulation. You've heard me say this before, but it's like a landscape. Nobody's buying a panorama of Kansas. They buy a panorama of New York City, of Hong Kong, of Paris, because you get that beautiful undulation. You get those beautiful tall apartment buildings and the Eiffel Tower, and then it scoots back down. You've got Sacré-Cœur and it goes back up. So people love undulation. It helps the eye to move throughout the space. It's more dynamic. It makes better use of the height of the space. We need some taller pieces in here. Now, of course, your floor lamp will count as a tall piece, but even that is not quite tall enough. So I'm going to recommend that you do some bookcases. Now, you might say to me, "Betsy, with my young children, bookcases just aren't going to be that practical because I want them to be able to reach things and I want them to be able to play with things, and they can't reach those upper levels." And also, you'll need to, of course, attach them to the wall so that the little ones aren't crawling on these and tipping them over. So I highly recommend when you have little ones to have like a bookcase that has cabinets on the bottom, right? So that way you can store things down there like their toys, and they can open the little doors and pull out their baskets of toys without the toys being so conspicuous all the time. The other thing I might recommend, which I don't always recommend, one second. Just plugging in my computer. It is draining with power. It was fine just a minute ago. Is this TMI, guys? You're getting behind the scenes right now. Anyway, where was I? Oh, I don't always recommend this, but I do think this might be a help in your particular situation to mount this TV above the chair rail. Because right now, the chair rail is higher than the TV console, and it's just a lot going on. And I think it would help to integrate the wall with the furniture if you did hang that TV. You will want to conceal the cords by potentially dropping them inside the wall or even putting an outlet behind the TV. Cord concealment is a number one priority for me always. But I do want you to think about highs and lows in this room, not just on the side by the TV, but also thinking about it maybe on either side of the sectional. I don't have great pics of that side of the room, so I really can't tell you specifically there. But yes, we need some tall plants. We need some tall bookcases. We need to be thinking about incorporating height and undulation. And then, of course, I'd be a little bit more intentional with my artwork. But I never even think about artwork. I don't consider it until I've placed all my furniture pieces. So that's going to be your priority, because if you place these tall bookcases and you've already hung your art, they may overlap. So I would probably flank my TV stand with bookcases that have cabinetry so that it does make that sort of bigger moment. And then I would mount my TV on the wall. And then on either side, I love the idea of doing a wing back that's opposite the sectional for that great conversation area. And in the children's play area, maybe we have a similar wingback. Maybe we really just embrace symmetry so then somebody can sit there and watch the kids, because right now in this play area, there's no seating that faces the children. And kids typically like to play in a place where you can engage with them. I have a feeling they're rarely playing alone by themselves behind the sectional. And they're probably bringing their toys over to the sectional area so they can kind of engage with you while they're hanging out. And if that's the case, maybe having a chair on this side would help them to keep their toys in their area, help them to make more use of their space, and also help you to engage with them a bit more so that they stay there. Just some ideas for you, right? But definitely height is a concern, especially just to keep going because you've got the Roman shades on the windows. The Roman shades on the windows are a beautiful touch, and I think they look really clean and nice, but it's not helping to emphasize that height like a drape would do. Now, you can still put drapes on these windows. You'll just want to mount them outside and over the Roman so that you can pull them side to side without hitting the Roman shade. But there's many drapery rods that come with adjustable brackets. I love the Cambria collection from Bed Bath & Beyond because it can project from the wall between 3 and 6 inches. So it can fall over baseboard radiators, fall over the Roman blinds, and allow you to have that beautiful, practically floor to ceiling height, again, to draw the eye up and to provide some visual undulation. A big thank you to Aton and the Embassy, who wrote our theme song. A shout out to Catherine Heller, who owns the podcast shop and is our editor extraordinaire. We also want to thank Ginny Sunasan and her team at the Savvy Podcast Agency for their help with our social, our YouTube channel, and so much more. We also want to thank Uploft, which is our parent company who supports this podcast. And lastly, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your support.